Crown Jewel predictions. I'm Will. That's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, let's cheers. Talk about some wrestling.
Yeah. This Crown Jewel, I don't know. I guess early on I was pretty excited about it.
What?
Like, leading into it. Now I'm just kind of like, I'm just already looking past it. I'm ready to get Survivor Series.
Oh, I'm totally not. I think this is easily.
That's where I'm at.
I think this is easily the most intriguing card in terms of who the hell is going to win that we've had since Mania.
That might be true. For me, though, you could take the Crown Jewel name out and put a different name in there. I'd probably be more excited. You know what I mean?
Well, that's also true. But in terms of it, there's no real stakes. Right? There's no real title matches. These are fake title matches. But, like, there's a lot on here. I think we're going to be very different in our picks. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, probably so.
That's all I'll say. But let's get right into it. We're going to go one by one. Match card has not been released in terms of sequence. So I just kind of took a guess on it, per usual. We'll see. We are going to start with Bronson Reed taking on Seth Rollins. Now, because of Monday, the attack on Seth Rollins, it does seem like they said on Monday that he went to the ER. You know, his ribs are hurt, so he might show up taped up. Might be a little injured walking in his match, kayfabe injury. What do we think here? Who wins?
Yeah. I mean, there's two different answers here for me. Like, who should win this match and who will win this match.
Oh,
I think Bronson Reed should win this match, but I'm going to pick Seth Rollins.
Really?
Like I said, the Crown Jewel thing, I feel like, you know, the family over there, everybody, they just want to celebrate, have a good time, even at the expense of some of the, you know, storylines that we do get. So I'm going to pick Seth Rollins on this one, even though I think Bronson Reed would be the right choice. And like, to carry the feud importance, establishing Bronson Reed, it would make so much more sense for him to win it. I just don't know if I could see that actually happening.
I mean, I'm with you on who should win it, but I'm also going to say he's going to win it, Bronson Reed. Reason being is I think we're going to get multiple matches out of this, and I think Seth Rollins does come out on top of the feud as a whole. But in terms of what happened Monday with Seth taking the Death Valley driver off the vehicle into the whatever they went into and being injured, I think that that's going to be their way of him being the injured dog walking into the cage with this big old monster. And if you are going to book the match like you just booked Bronson Reed on Monday, he's going to be able to get up from anything while Seth Rollins is going to be injured and not be able to take that kind of damage that he can normally take. So I think that logically, we are going to just have to give Bronson Reed this win here.
Yeah, I hope I am wrong on this one. It's more of just like I don't know. It's tough for me to see a lot of the people. I feel like I look at these matches and I'm like, oh, well, it'd be really tough to not have that person pose at the end. You know what I mean? So as much as I want Bronson Reed to win it, I feel like maybe there's some other matches later on that I think maybe we give those to those people. And then you have some people get happy with like maybe a Rollins win here.
I also just think that he needs to win the first bout because like I said earlier, I think Seth Rollins is going to win the feud. And I think that's going to catapult Seth Rollins back into the world heavyweight title situation. And you can't have Bronson Reed win the feud overall because I think if you have him win a feud with Seth Rollins, he needs to be put in the IC title picture as a real contender and like probably win it. And Braun Breaker's just now getting the title back, so you can't rush that part earlier either. So have Bronson Reed win the very first of this long feud with Seth. Yeah. Have Seth come out on top, all that.
Yeah, I think we're both in agreement. Seth obviously wins the feud at the end. Yep. It's just more so how do they want to do it? Do they want to do the injury card or do they want to do it to where Seth prevails even though he's injured and then he gets destroyed again on Monday, you know, something like that.
Yeah, I agree. We are going to move on. Women's Tag Team Championship being featured in Saudi here. So women's tag title is going to be a fatal four-way. Bianca Belair and Jade taking on Damage Control, taking on the Meta Girls, taking on the team of Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Who do you think wins this one?
Oh, man. This one's tough just because there's so many different people involved.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to just, you know what? Why not? I'm going to do it. I'm going to say Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Why not? I might go over on these picks, to be honest. But you know what? I don't really care. I'm going with the heart here. We always talk about how Chelsea's the maximizer of minutes. Yep. You've had the other three teams kind of interact a whole lot. You seem like the Meta Girls are really on the rise here. Damage Control, Jade and Bianca, anytime they're in a tag match. They don't ever win those because you can protect them easily. So why not just give it to Chelsea and Piper? Give them some more screen time. I wouldn't hate it. Quick little run.
Yeah, I'm going to go opposite here. I think Jade and Bianca win it, and I think Chelsea's taking the pin. Chelsea Green's going to have the spot of the night. I'm going to put it that way. I don't know how they're going to do it, but she's going to do something ridiculous that ends in her downfall. But in terms of me picking Jade and Bianca to win, I just think they've already dropped them. They've already done this whole dropping the tag team titles once and then clawed their way back up into this title shot and winning it again. I don't think we do that again, especially I think when they lose the belt, it will be obvious that the split is coming, and we've gotten none of that so far. So just in terms of that logic, I see them going. I also think the Meta Girls will be booked very strong here, as they should, and then Damage Control will do what they always do, flipping off the top rope, all that.
Yeah, like I said, with this one too, I'm going with the heart. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to pick Chelsea and Piper. What you probably get is probably what you're saying, Bianca and Jade retain, and then you have them and the Meta Girls. They continue to build them up to be kind of like an equal. That's probably what you get out of this. But I just want Chelsea Green to get some more screen time, so why not just give her the titles?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if
you sign me up.
Chelsea ends up winning, I'm going to be like, hell yeah, let's get this thing going, all right? But yeah, I don't see it happening at the end of the day.
Not really.
Let's move it on, though. Randy Orton taking on Kevin Owens here at Crown Jewel. Who do you have winning this one?
I feel like you got to go Kevin Owens on this one. It just makes the most sense. Kind of like we talked with like the Bronson Seth thing. It's almost pretty much the same logic here.
Yeah.
How you're building Kevin up, and eventually you're going to get Randy to snap. So that's way further down the line. So just give me Kevin Owens here.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I think it has to be Kevin Owens, or else the heel turn kind of feels a little pointless. Like, we haven't seen Kevin Owens on screen much since the heel turn. Like, he was on that one SmackDown afterward where he was trying to attack Cody, and then he did attack Randy at the end of it. We haven't seen him since. So if he just makes his first, if he shows up for the first time since that moment and then just loses, even though it's Randy Orton, that would still feel pointless to me. You need to have whatever kind of heat that Kevin Owens is going to take into the Cody Rhodes fight needs to be, it needs to come off of a win against Randy Orton. That's all I got to say. Like, he has to win this one.
Yeah, and to have Triple H kind of warning Randy, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to protect you, da-da-da-da-da. That just, to me, signifies, like, okay, Kevin's going to snap. He's going to destroy Randy. That one's probably the easiest pick of the night for me.
You think we get any signs of Randy turning here?
No, I don't think so yet. I think we get a KO, just kind of not dominant in the sense of like maybe he dominates the match, but just like a beating from KO to Randy. That's really what I'm thinking happens here.
Hopefully Randy can keep up with KO. KO moves fast in the ring. His matches are bang bang, and it feels like the guys that Randy's been facing lately have been pretty good handpicked for him to do his slow, methodical method. And I think Kevin Owens is going to come out the door swinging. So interesting to see how the actual match goes. Mm-hmm. We will move it on. Randy Orton SmackDown. Keep it on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. We're going to go to the U.S. title here. LA Knight taking on Andrade and taking on Carmelo Hayes. Triple threat match at Crown Jewel. Who do you got winning?
I'm going to go LA Knight.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he's going to drop this belt anytime soon. Which kind of sucks. I mean, you do have Carmelo and Andrade. One of them is going to lose a little bit of steam, I think. The other one, obviously, we've talked about going into a feud with LA after this. So I just don't see LA dropping it anytime soon.
Yeah, this is the one I probably went back and forth with in my head a bunch. I feel like you have to give it to Andrade or Carmelo Hayes. I feel like you just have to, because what's the point of the 7-game series, especially ending the way it did in a no contest with LA Knight? I know that was to set up this match specifically, but like, they have torn down the mid-card matches of SmackDown for the past 2 months. They've been putting on shows, and as great as LA Knight is, and as much as we want him to have a long title reign, I feel like at some point you got to build one of these guys and give them this label that is the United States Championship as being like a "we believe in you" moment. And you can have LA Knight rip that off and back in Survivor Series. So I did pick one of these guys, and I
say Carmelo is who you picked.
I'm going to go with Andrade. I think they're going to pull the trigger because fans are already bought in on Andrade or on Carmelo Hayes, I think. And Andrade does have a history and all that stuff, but I don't think he's got the fan support of Carmelo Hayes and LA Knight. And I think this would be a really nice baton moment that could elevate him for the time being. And then LA Knight, you could even run this match back again at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Like the triple threat. And then LA Knight pulls it back off there.
Yeah, I think LA maybe keeps it here. And then maybe you run him and one of the two back at Survivor Series. And then maybe that's where he loses the belt. So I say I don't see him dropping it anytime soon. And I just kind of went back on that. But I don't see him dropping it here. It's also kind of a thing for me that, like, if LA drops it, he's kind of in like a no man's land.
He's going to go back and try to get it. I agree, though.
You know what I mean?
That's the problem with Cody being champion on SmackDown right now and the Kevin Owens stuff and all that. It feels like that main the whole Cody reign has felt like that title is set in stone with like 3 or 4 guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to just keep all these other guys over here, and that muddies the water. I wouldn't mind them running this triple threat back like 3 times and each guy winning one, though. I was thinking about that a little bit today. Like, what if Andrade wins this one and then they'd run it back at Survivor Series in a different stipulation? Hayes wins that one, brings back the spinner for a month, and then LA Knight wins it overall.
Like a triple threat ladder or something.
Dude, that'd be sick.
I would, you can sign me up for something like that. Why not? That'd be cool.
Have we ever had like a triple threat 3-match program? Like,
I mean,
off the top of my head,
what, the Hardys, Dudleys, and Edge and Christian, but those are tag teams.
Yeah.
But like, so singular, like, I don't think so.
That'd be sick.
I'd be here for it.
That'd be sick.
Somebody in the comments is gonna be like, yeah, back in 1992 they had,
Well, you're forgetting about Bruno Sammartino. And anyway, we'll move it on. We're gonna get our first Crown Jewel title match.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, before we go on, you mentioned Bruno Sammartino.
Oh,
one of our viewers, Peasy, told me he used to watch him as a kid. That's how old Peasy is. That's quite tragic.
Man,
poor guy.
Man. What a part of the 13 colonies there, Peasy.
Oh, man.
Anyway, it's our first of the Crown Jewel title matches. So for the Crown Jewel title, we have Nia Jax taking on Liv Morgan at Crown Jewel. Who wins it?
Nia Jax.
Woo.
I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to say Nia Jax with a forced Tiffy cash in on Liv Morgan and a fail there. We've kind of talked about it since Tiffany won the briefcase. When is the right time to cash in? When is the right time? They've been leading all up to like this point to where it's made up in my mind it's going to be a failed cash in.
Yep.
And I think the feud with her and Nia would be so much better with the failed cash in, and she can, be the Crown Jewel champion, women's champion. She can have all these accolades or whatever. And Tiffany's just sitting there just like, but I could have cashed in on you, but I didn't. I think that story is so good. So that's what I'm hoping for here.
I'm halfway with you. I do think Nia Jax forces Tiffany to cash in, and I do think she fails, but I think Liv Morgan pins Tiffany. That's how I think what's going to happen. That coming from recent developing news that Rhea Ripley is kayfabe injury out, her orbital bone or whatever it is got broken at NXT the other day. So I don't expect there to be a Rhea Ripley run-in,
right? Which
means the only drama that's going to come from the match is going to be the Tiffy stuff. And I think that's going to lead to Nia Jax forcing Tiffany to cash in. And then somehow, some way, it ends up with Tiffany in the ring with Liv, and Liv being able to beat Tiffany clean. And then Liv walks away with this title. She goes to Raw with no Rhea, Crown Jewel champion, all this. And then you can do the Nia Jax, Tiffany stuff on SmackDown from now on.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea either. It's just one of those things for me that with Liv, at least, it's like, well, there's no Rhea. So like that women's title is just going to be kind of caught up. And as much as we want to talk about like the Crown Jewel championships, like they kind of don't, like they kind of mean something, but they kind of don't.
No, I mean,
you know what I mean? So it's like, you can say, oh, well, I beat this person, I'm the ultimate champ or whatever. But it's like, Liv is already doing that with one belt. Do we need her doing it with 2? You know what I mean?
I was going to have the exact same take that you took for the match before this news came out. When the news came out that Rhea's injured, and so we're probably not going to expect her at Saudi. Now, she could show up in an eye patch and
with that Undertaker mask,
or something, and looking cool and cost the match, and it'd be a total, they're throwing us off here, and I could see that happening. But if it's true that she's going to be out for a few weeks, like WWE posted, then I just think that because there's no Rhea drama occurring, Liv will walk away with this one.
Yeah.
That's about it. 2 more matches. I am going to have the Bloodline go on last. So
it's probably what happens.
Bloodline go on last. Roman's got a pose somehow. Roman's got an intro? His entrance is basically his pose, bro.
Yeah, he's the Jeff Hardy. Modern day Jeff Hardy. Making sure he gets his entrance.
You're getting beat up in the ring and Roman comes to help you. You got to sit through that pyro.
He's going to sit through the pyro. Just throw the ones up.
Jimmy
and Jay are just getting destroyed, Roman. Just acknowledge me.
Yeah. Anyway, it is the Cody match. So we do have for the Crown Jewel Championship, we have Cody Rhodes taking on Gunther. Who wins it?
I'm going to say Cody Rhodes. The whole thing I said about like Seth Rollins posing and like I just don't see any way, shape, or form Seth Rollins loses, even though he should. Don't get me wrong. It's the same thing with Cody here for me. I feel like I can't see it happening. So I just feel like Cody, like neither one's stock gets improved or hurt or anything like that, but it's Cody Rhodes. That's really my only reasoning.
We are going to have very separate takes on this one. This is a big predictions. I'm choosing Gunther all day here. Reason being is Kevin Owens is going to be there, right? Kevin Owens is going to be there. As much as he hates Randy right now, we think he's going to take care of that business earlier in the night. I think he makes an appearance during this match to screw Cody over in some way, shape, or form. And that belt, that World Heavyweight Championship, does still have that B title label on it. It really does still. As much as I've loved Damian Priest, Seth Rollins with it, and now Gunther, it's still got a B label. What better way than to have Kevin Owens get involved in this match in some sort of way, and Gunther find a way to get a win here, pin Cody Rhodes. Now he can come to Raw with no real next rivalry happening, right? And he can go, not only am I your World Heavyweight Champion, I'm the champion of champions. I beat Cody Rhodes. And now you've established him and that title as being something that's on the same level. So I just think it writes itself.
Yeah, that's, again, probably the more likely thing. It's also one of those things that I guess because of who I'm picking in the next match, I think that there needs to be some sort of happiness some way, somehow. So if that's how you want to look at it.
Is bringing prestige back to the wrestling.
and plus, if Cody wins, just imagine the pyro. It's going to be 10 minutes of pyro.
Saudi might not have, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
It's just pyro galore.
God. Could you imagine Cody winning and then Roman's entrance right afterward? Yeah. It's going to be like those NFL games where it's too smoky to see for the first quarter.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, what the hell's happening in the Bloodline match?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I just think, I don't know, as much as we always joke, like Hogan must pose, to me, it feels like Cody must pose. That's kind of where we're getting at with that territory now, Maybe.
I'm never going to bet against Cody, okay? Okay, I just think Gunther's got it.
Yeah.
Anyway, our main event, or what we think is going to be the main event, it is the Civil War match that came out of nowhere. They announced it after Raw. We were while we were doing our review for Raw. We get done doing the review, check my phone. Huge match has been announced. I'm like, damn, that would have been nice to put on my TV. God.
Yeah.
Anyway, we do have the Civil War match. We got Bloodline 1, Roman, Jimmy, and Jay taking on Bloodline 2.0, Fatu, Solo, Tama, Tonga, Tongaloa, Crown Jewel. Who do you think wins?
Yeah, I mean, as I just said, you had to have some sort of happiness, right? That's why I kind of picked Cody. So I'm picking the Bloodline 2.0. Storyline-wise, again, kind of like with the Kevin Owens thing, it just kind of makes sense. Kind of writes itself here. Numbers game, I would like to think catches up. I mean, they have the all-important Tongaloa, so maybe he stacks Jimmy J and Roman, and he gets the pin. Maybe not that, but I just think ultimately Bloodline 2.0 gets the win here. We still need more original Bloodline stuff. We need more members. We need more reasoning. We need more kind of tension and divide and why this, why that. Oh, they came back together. Is it too soon? We need more of that. So in order to do that, you got to have Bloodline 2.0 win this.
Yeah, you cannot have Bloodline 1.0 win. It can't happen. If they win this, what's my interest? It's like the same argument we had with the Terror Twins winning their matches. If they would have won both their matches, then we would have been out. So you just cannot have Bloodline 1.0 win this for all the reasons you just said. It's just too early. I get it. Jay and Jimmy are back together, but like we still have Jay and Roman. They're not fully trusting each other anymore. We got the Sammy stuff now. They're not a complete group. They're not meshing yet. You got to have Solo come over there with Jacob Fatu and dominate them in some way. And what I'm really hoping for, I'm hoping that Jacob Fatu handles his business with Roman Reigns, but then Solo Sikoa pins Roman. That would be my way of doing this, because then next week on SmackDown, you just have them come out and go, we are the Bloodline 2.0. We are Bloodline. I pinned Roman Reigns. I am your tribal chief. It'd be such a great start to the rebuild Bloodline story. Book it.
Yeah, I think as we're recording this, obviously, we haven't gotten to SmackDown with Jimmy J,
Nope.
Roman, all that stuff. I think some way, somehow, there's some sort of disconnect between Jay and Roman still,
Yep.
and that's probably the more likely reason why they lose.
Yep.
So that's probably what I'm going to say. As long as Solo gets the pin here, I think that that's all that really matters. But I think there's some sort of divide there, and that's how they lose.
100%. Does Sammy get involved at all?
I don't know, because I'm at the point still with Sammy that, like, obviously we saw on Raw he's talking to Solo, but then he tries to talk to Jay. So it's like maybe you get some sort of Sammy run out, but maybe he's unsure of what to do, and then maybe somebody inadvertently takes out Sammy. Maybe that's what you do.
Yeah, that's all interesting stuff, man. And tune in tomorrow because we're gonna have a what if list about Crown Jewel. We'll dive deeper into those type of subjects. But this was good predictions. Normally, see, this is why Crown Jewel is gonna be good. Exactly. You were like, I'm not excited. Well, we are freaking different on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 7 matches.
See, I'm saying I'm not excited because I'm probably gonna get these wrong. So
I'm
that's
gonna get them all right. I'm gonna go back to back.
I don't know about
Back to back, baby.
I don't know about that.
Anyway. Let us know in the comments what you want to happen or what you think is going to happen. Crown Jewel should be fun. We will have a review out for that on Sunday, so be looking out for that. But until next time, I'm Will. That's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast, and we will see you next time.